Morning, everyone.
Good morning. Happy Friday. This is our first one.
Yeah, we're packing the backpack this week. Well,
Yeah.
every week we're going to be packing the backpack.
This is the beginning of our weekly writer's backpack, the Friday backpack. And we're going to answer the questions that you had this week. And then we're going to pack some essentials. We're actually in Meribeth's bed.
Hey, it's Friday.
It's Friday. No, it's not. It's Thursday. Oh, it's Friday. Oh my gosh, my days are all mixed up. Thursdays, I get really woozy. Like I get actually very romantic on Thursdays. Did you know that?
It's Friday.
I know. That's what I mean. But it's like I'm in spill off.
Okay.
I get lost.
Gotcha.
Okay, back. Okay. So some of the questions that came up this week in the writers group.
Very good one. What's the difference between writing, for fun, for creativity, and getting your book done?
Yeah.
Pretty important one, I think.
And sometimes, and just to give you the point of reference that came up, because sometimes writing prompts writing prompts don't necessarily give you traction. They give you creation because they're so short. You get kind of right to the source of something. And so the question was, well, how do I use these writing prompts in my book writing? And isn't that just creative writing? And so we thought we would give you some of the tools that we use when we flip open our computers to get traction to move your book forward.
But seeing as we've mentioned prompts, I think it's a really good idea to just give 5 minutes to that.
Sure.
Because we do give a lot of prompts.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep saying it over and over. I'm in theory more into prompts than I am in practice. Although I realize that in my own writing practice, I actually create prompts for myself.
Okay.
And it's just kind of part of my habit.
Right.
So they're internalized sort of prompts. And maybe there are more people who do that and they just haven't named that.
Wait, can you just pause for a second, say that again? Because that's one of those internalized tools that we need to bring out external. So you just said that you have writing prompts that happen in your head. You've internalized it so much. And so that's like actually one of the tools that you draw on when you flip your computer open.
Yeah. And I think that's why I keep saying that the first 3 paragraphs of anything I write is basically garbage, but it gets me to the place where I need to go. So that's the way a prompt works for me. And so I'll start writing and maybe I'll write for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Maybe I'll write all day, but then I'll go back and I'll be like, you know what? All of this, I don't need this. Or maybe all of this goes somewhere else. But what I'm really trying to say is right here. And I have to write into that.
Wow, I love that.
But that's just my process.
Yeah, well, that's your offering to.
But I think when we talk about prompts, and one way that we have generally done prompts is like you do that sort of stream of consciousness writing, and then you go back and you go, well, what is really hitting me from this piece?
Yeah. Like what's super alive in this piece that you want to carry forward. On that note, I'll just answer that. One of the tools I think I internally have is I often have a picture in my head. Like I'll have a scene or a moment in my head, maybe because I have a theater background, maybe because I love film, I don't know. But that image is often the thing that I start writing from. Or sometimes out of that image comes a sentence, kind of like musicians hear music licks in their head that take them to writing, to creating something. That's that's my internalized piece. And I'll say for me that actually is, I don't use that as a tactic to get started. For me, that's more creative writing. For me, that's, I have this wondering, this image that's kind of dogging my trail. I have to get down and write about it. But if I'm going to move from A to Z, so moving out of creative writing for me into, I've made a decision and I'm completing this book. Like right now I'm finishing my book, right? Then I might pull on writing prompts that I've done before and pull out some of those things that are alive and then go, oh, this is in my book. I need to write about this now. But what I was explaining to Meribeth this morning is I won't even open my screen to sit down and write unless I'm going to pull something that's either in my outline, if I'm in that place, or if I'm not in an outline, because I don't usually get to an outline till like draft 3. If I'm not at an outline, what I have before that is like a journey. And a journey is it's just my first guess at a journey. So if you're listening and you're like, what is she talking about? I don't even know what that is. You might want to spend some time mapping out what you think the journey of your book is, meaning I start here and then I get to here. And then there's these things that I think live in the middle. It doesn't have to be in order, but they're like, for me, the other visual I was using with Meribeth today, it was like the journey of my closet. Like they have to be tangible. I look in my closet and I go, I've got 8 dresses in my closet, right?
And you know that Monday you've got a big meeting in town.
Yeah.
And you know that Tuesday it's actually a bit more chill.
Yep. And then Friday it's just jammy day.
Yeah.
I'm not even in the closet. And so if you think of it like that, it's like I'm going to open my computer. I'm going to decide exactly what thing I'm going to write into that day. So pull a dress that I'm writing about a business meeting. And that's where I start. And that for me is the difference between writing to explore and writing to get it done. And I'm not saying exploring doesn't happen, but I'm not writing to explore. I'm writing to get it done.
And for me, my dresses in the closet are actually themes. Well,
right.
Actually, that's not true. The closet is the theme.
Mm-hmm.
So I make sure that whatever I'm writing about sort of centers on that theme, or maybe starts with that theme, right? For my book, I have all these visuals of places and moments.
Yeah.
And the theme is unlikelihood.
The theme is unlikelihood.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So how unlikely is it that this situation would have occurred?
Right. So where I will say, well, I almost start with the destination, like this is what it's about. You start with like a direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how do I frame this scene within the theme of unlikely?
Right.
Right.
Is unlikely always a theme, or that's just an example of a theme?
That's the theme for this particular work.
Okay. So again, you've made a decision about the theme for this particular work.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what grounds you in actual traction of getting from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what I think we should do? We should talk a little bit about what we've noticed in other writers, because we've just given our examples. But I think what we do have in common here is the difference between creative writing really is about exploring for exploring's sake, and tactical writing that is where you're moving into finishing something, like I'm going to complete this, is writing for completion's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And you might explore to
Tina,
complete.
You're better at this than I am. The standard book, your standard nonfiction work.
Yeah.
How many words?
It's anywhere from, be prepared to write 90,000 words. 90,000 is kind of the industry standard. 150,000 words is approximately 450 pages. And at the same time, there's more micro books coming out right now that are about 50,000 words. So in answering, go ahead.
So a few things that I just want to bring to the fore in the service of getting it done.
Yeah.
First of all, our program and the boot camps and the way we've structured it are all about making sure that every single piece of that book gets covered.
Right.
So I just think that's worth noting. So if you do all the boot camps and you write the appropriate number of words for each, how many do we want people to write, or what's the goal for each boot camp word-wise?
I don't remember. But
anyways, let's assume that's 3 days worth of writing. I think 1,000 words, or 1,500 at least, minimum of 1,500 per boot camp, if not more.
Yeah.
And we've got 12 boot camps. Well, you're well on your way. And those are the base pieces. Those are your skeleton right there.
So I know that this is our Tips Friday, and you're like, what are we talking about the writer? So the Writer's Adventure, we have a Writer's Adventure cohort that Meribeth is talking about. And that's for those of you who are ready to commit and get it done in 14 months. And on our Backpack Friday, for those of you who may not be ready to do that, these tips are for you. And if you're feeling like these tips aren't enough and you're ready because you're ready to commit to getting it done, let us know. Talk to us about the Writer's Adventure 14-month cohort, and we'll get that conversation
We'll get you started. Yeah.
All right. So that's backpack. Oh, we didn't talk about how other writers get started. I just want to make sure that you don't think the only way to get started is the way we've just offered. Some people are absolutely outline people. That's how it's the only way it works. They have a concept, they write an outline, and you might spend your first draft might just be an outline. But that's where you pour your time in. You're like, okay, my first draft, I know exactly what this book is by outline. That's one way.
Quite frankly, you might write 80,000 words and have no direction whatsoever, but then you go back and you hand it to your friend or to Tina and I or whoever, and you say, I wrote all this stuff, I don't know where it's going. And then whoever reads it says, I see this thread in there.
Yeah.
This is the piece tying all these things together. And so then when you go back to do your second draft, you've got all the pieces there, and it's just about reshaping it so that it fits within a structure you didn't know you had.
And so to bring us back to the difference between creative writing and getting it done writing, using Meribeth's example, that would be someone who's written 80,000 words. What they're chasing is, it's like they're just opening up their computer because they're chasing something. They don't even know what they're chasing, but they can feel like they're chasing. And we've had authors do that. So that's another way that's different between creative writing and getting it done writing. Another way that writers work that we've experienced around creative writing and getting it done writing is simply having a word count. Just by having the agreement of a word count in their day, it's almost like that becomes the filter that helps them get traction. Another thing that we've seen people do, we had a writer that put her outline together and then wrote in 8-minute increments a writing prompt for each of those pieces. And that's how she got started. I'm thinking about how Nicole works. Nicole works from a creative place. She's highly immersive. So, and at the same time, she'll only write for 20 minutes at a time if she has to, but all immersively in those 20 minutes. And so again, you know what I'm noticing is that all of these examples intersect around the decision. They're all around decisions. I'm deciding to write for 20 minutes. I'm deciding to complete. I'm deciding to pull the stress out of the closet. I'm deciding to chase. They're kind of all the same. I mean, deciding to explore. It's interesting, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I get it. You're putting time and effort into this, and you've never done it before. So it's really, you want to have some kind of container. Well, most people do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary. So let's just acknowledge that.
Aww. All right. This is your backpack. Pack your pack. Writer's pack. Back. Friday pack. Friday Pac-Man. What is it?
It's okay, Tina. What do they call those things? She sells seashells. Anyways,
yeah, okay.
You know what we're talking about.
All right. So our writers group starts in here in a half an hour. So at 8:45, we're live with your writing group on this Friday. We will see you then.
Bye.
Bye.